Hello and welcome to round 14 of the 2025 Super Formula One World Championship, the Swiss Grand Prix. We are here in Switzerland amidst the trees at Deep Forest Raceway, a 2.64 mile, 18 turn track known for its high speed and technical design. Sauber running in their final home race before becoming Audi next year, so they'll be hoping for a proper farewell. Let's get ready to take a look at the starting grid.
Starting at the back, Alexander Albon starts on the last row next to Yuki Tsunoda. Pierre Gasly starts 18th alongside Nico Hülkenberg in 17th, and then Esteban Ocon starts 16th alongside Carlos Sainz in 15th. Kimi Antonelli starts P14 next to fellow rookie Oliver Bearman in P13, and then Lewis Hamilton starts in P12 next to a tied season best 11th for Franco Colapinto. Isaac Hadjar starts P10 alongside Lance Stroll starting 9th, behind Max Verstappen with a season lowest 8th next to Liam Lawson in P7. Gabriel Bortoleto starts a career-best 6th alongside the user driver George Russell, and then Fernando Alonso starts on the second row next to Oscar Piastri in P3, with Lando Norris in second and Charles Leclerc on pole for the first time since round 4.
And we are underway from Deep Forest on the run towards turn 1. Oscar Piastri got a great launch off the grid, but Norris is quicker in that second phase. As down into turn 1, Norris has the inside line on Leclerc, and Leclerc will have to hold it all the way around this sweeping corner, and cannot. Norris is in the lead. Piastri follows him through. Now Alonso fancies a move up the hill. They are side by side, but Leclerc will hold on to that place. And now Russell going at Alonso. Looks like he'll stay behind for the time being. Russell threatening a move on Alonso, but he'll stay behind into the hairpin. Further back, there's contact. Verstappen into the back of Bortoleto, and then Hadjar follows suit. Stroll might have gone into Lawson as well. A multi-car pileup into the hairpin, and that will spell damage for at least 4 cars, I'm sure. Verstappen and Bortoleto in. Make that 5 cars. Both RBs and Stroll come in, but the McLarens are fighting out front. Piastri's got the slipstream. Down into turn 1, we can watch Russell as well, as Piastri will have that inside line, and he will have the place. Russell ended up ahead of both Alonso and Leclerc. That must have been a huge run. Here's another look at the start. You'll see Russell gets a poor launch, but the top 3 begin to pull away from Alonso into turn 1, and Norris is on the inside with Leclerc and Piastri on the outside line, but it's such a long corner that the Ferrari just loses ground out there. Piastri switches to the inside, and even he benefits from that inside line on the exit, so that's 2 places lost for the pole sitter. Then it's almost 3 when Alonso comes at him. He's lucky to not lose that spot as well. Then down into the hairpin, you see Bortoleto at the front of a pileup, almost like Spa last week. This time it looked like Hadjar went into Verstappen and sent him into the back of Bortoleto. Stroll went into the back of Lawson on the edge of the screen as well, and that is 5 cars there alone into the pits on the opening lap. Doesn't look like Russell will have to defend much into the hairpin. Alonso is a lot closer to Leclerc coming out of the tunnel, and Alonso goes straight into the back of Charles Leclerc. He was trying to go for the overtake and does, but it doesn't matter if you both got damage and have to enter the pits, and that's exactly what's happening. That could ruin the Ferrari's race from pole. Norris setting up a move now and pulling alongside down into turn 1. Norris has got the inside line, and under braking, slight contact between the 2 McLarens. They've got to be careful not to damage each other out front. Doesn't look like he'll go for it this time. Oh, he is! Oscar Piastri sends his front wing up the inside on Norris around the hairpin, and when he comes out, he will be back in the lead of the race. There wasn't much room, but he got the job done. But now he'll be towing his teammate right down the pit straight, and the slipstream is strong around here. Here they go into turn 1. Norris already moving out from underneath to get the inside, just barely ahead into braking, but around the corner, I think there was contact too, but Norris takes the place right back in no time. And we will likely see another move this time. They have swapped places at turn 1 nearly every single lap so far. And if anything, that's allowed George Russell to close the gap. Look at how close he is. He may be threatening into turn 1. Looks like he backs off as Piastri's got the inside. And Piastri is clear and ahead before they get out of the corner. But look at the exit Russell's got, and he's coming at Norris now. It was only a matter of time before he got involved in this scrap. He's not got a lot of space through here, but he is much closer than before. Leclerc already peeking out to the very inside. They may be 3 abreast heading into turn 1, but Leclerc is the driver on the inside, and he will be happy to make 2 places in 1 corner. Verstappen just did the same behind. This is the first time either of them has had this much distance between themselves and the other all race. Piastri will be safe into turn 1, but Russell's putting Norris under pressure. Darts to the inside. He's going to be alongside under braking, and he sends it down the inside on Piastri, and now he's gone wide. He's got to slow the car down. Piastri coming back and squeezes him on the exit. Russell's running out of road, and that'll put Norris on him, but he'll remain in front. Wow, that was a bit opportunistic. Checking his mirrors just to see if Russell's going to go for it around the outside. There's no way he'll make the corner, and he goes way off. He's gone off screen. We can't even see him. The McLarens go through, and only now are we seeing Russell re-enter the road. I tell you, he must have went all the way into the runoff area because he's extremely misjudged that move and comes back out of it in P3. Norris moves out early looking for a move at the hairpin, and here comes Russell from behind, brakes much earlier this time, but still late enough to challenge Piastri on the exit. Lots of wheel spin there coming out as Lewis Hamilton looks to get ahead of Antonelli, but Russell has split the 2 McLaren on the run down the main straight, and he will get a huge slipstream now on Oscar Piastri. Sparks flying as they head up towards the line. Russell on the outside, look at that switchback now to the inside. He's setting this move up early as they come across the line. George Russell will be ahead, leading the 2 McLaren down into turn 1, defending down under braking. Norris trying to get to the inside of Piastri now, and Norris will be back up into P2. But they've both allowed Russell to take the lead as now, Russell's dropped it. He's lost it somewhere through 3 and 4, and now Lando Norris takes advantage and now leads the Swiss Grand Prix. Russell struggling for grip. Look at the wheel spin. George Russell is getting out the hairpin. He nearly sent that round. And Mercedes know they're going to bring him in now. So he'll be the first to pit for new tires. Oscar Piastri will move back up in a second, but we'll have Antonelli now pushing him along the straight. That top 3 lost a lot of time battling, and it's brought Antonelli and Hamilton back into the conversation. Hamilton is on the inside as well. 3 cars wide into turn 1. And Lewis Hamilton comes out of it on top. A double overtake for the Ferrari and up into second place. Piastri's lost out on Antonelli as well. Norris has lost a lot of ground out front because Antonelli is challenging coming out of the tunnel. Hamilton's there as well, and they both send it up the inside on Norris, and they both get through, and that has put Lando Norris at a serious disadvantage as Hamilton and Antonelli will make their stops. It's allowed Piastri to come out of the hairpin right alongside Norris, and they will race side by side all the way down and back up onto the road down the main straight. They are wheel to wheel coming across the line, neither of them giving an inch. Piastri will have the inside line and into turn 1. Oscar Piastri retakes the lead of the race. These 2 don't quit. Here comes Russell now. He'll be racing his teammate out of the pits here. This will be close, and he looks to be out ahead of Hamilton. Oh, and he's gone too deep. Oh, and he's nearly gone sideways, and Antonelli made contact. That is absolutely horrible for Mercedes. They might have to come back in, and they're still going at it. Russell and Antonelli, very hostile with one another. And Russell's just making a point to stay ahead. Russell coming in now, and this will set him back a bit, having already pitted. Gets his repair and will come out now. In 6th and just ahead of this 3-car battle, Verstappen and Stroll on the inside getting a move done there. Verstappen on the outside for a change, holding on in front of Hajar. But further up, Russell's got work to do now. Russell gaining on Hamilton as they emerge from the tunnel. Hamilton forcing Russell the long way round, around the outside, and Russell pulling alongside. Hamilton is still there under braking. Russell's got to leave him space at the apex and does. But look at that, a good exit for Russell. And that's an overtake around the outside of the hairpin. Impressive stuff as Hamilton will enter the pits now on lap 23. Russell continues, and now he's pushing to come across ahead of Piastri, which would give him P2. Coming across the line now, and he looks to have that in the bag as Piastri comes out behind Colapinto. And Colapinto slows down. He's not going to fight the McLaren, so Oscar Piastri will be in third place. So Lando Norris will make his stop now, leaving George Russell to somehow retake the lead of this race. Right now, Norris races with Piastri. On the way down the front straight, Norris extended his first stint, and now he's going to try to get out of the pit still ahead of Piastri, but I don't think that'll happen for him, and it won't. So Piastri runs second, and Norris will come out now down in third. Russell may have gotten the weaker exit out of turn 14 because I think Piastri's going to have a good chance coming out of the hairpin and down towards turn 1 as they come across the line. Piastri's slowly going to move to the inside, but that is the preferable line out of the two, and down into turn 1. Oscar Piastri will have that move done. Piastri is back into the lead of the race again. It has been everywhere so far today. Now they'll begin to catch some traffic and they'll want to disperse them quickly. Esteban Ocon is next up the road. And look at Piastri arriving to the back of him. He's got to go by quickly or else George Russell will, and does. Russell wasting no time with that and is back into the lead of the Swiss Grand Prix. Piastri still stuck there and only now can he get by. But just that alone has cost him a load of time. Look at the gap now between him and Russell. Piastri's much closer this time going into the tunnel. Russell aggressively covering off the inside line and forcing Piastri around the outside coming into 14, but Russell breaks first. Piastri's ahead at the hairpin. Oh, and slight contact. Russell tried to commit to it and nearly spins round. How did he not just drop that? I do not know. Emerging from the tunnel, he's doing pretty well in that Sauber today. And oh, Yuki Tsunoda rear-ending Bortoleto, and that's more damage to the Sauber. That was horrible from Tsunoda there. And the man who started P6 takes even more damage. Here comes George Russell. Now he'll have an opportunity for the lead, and he's already got it before they get out of the tunnel. Sweeps across the track, coming in hard into the hairpin, and he will hold it together as Hamilton and Norris, Leclerc come through. Now Norris is catching Piastri, but Hamilton is there, Leclerc is there, into and then out of the tunnel, coming down into the hairpin. It's 2v2, McLaren versus Ferrari at the hairpin, and both Ferraris are going to win out. They both started behind the McLarens, and they both come out ahead of them. That was extraordinary to watch, as now Russell leads from Hamilton, from Leclerc, from Piastri, from Norris. This has been an incredible recovery for both Ferrari drivers to be sat here on the podium this late into the race. And I'll make that 1 and 2. Russell's gone off again. What on earth is going on with George Russell now? He's just been struggling all day, still with issues coming out of turn 10. And that'll put Norris ahead of him. But oh, maybe contact there as Russell's fighting this one back. Lando Norris and George Russell side by side headed through the tunnel, and George Russell will come out ahead of the McLaren, but that sequence flipped on its head very quickly there. Charles Leclerc will have a run at Hamilton now, down the front straight. He's gaining and pulling alongside down into turn 1, and the man who started on pole position and took damage early has returned to the lead of the race here with 10 laps to go. Leclerc from Hamilton, from Piastri, from Russell now, down and back up and onto the main straight as they come. Russell moving early to the inside. Piastri's going to follow suit, but George Russell powering down the main straight. into the lead well before they get to the corner. Piastri sent it up the inside of both Ferraris as well. Russell's gone a bit deep in the corner, but just taking a wide exit, and just like that, the order continues to shuffle. Lando Norris has fallen back and into the hands of Max Verstappen, who's been in no man's land all race long. And now he's emerging into turn 1 and coming out of it into the top 5 for the first time today. He started 8th, now he's ahead of his direct championship rival. Norris having another go at Verstappen now. These are important points for both in a 1-point fight right now for the championship. Norris has got the inside line. Norris has got 5th place, right back from Max Verstappen. Leclerc, Piastri, and further back Hamilton. None of them will make it to the end. They've got to pit now. And this is crucial because if Lando Norris doesn't pit now, he would pass all of them while they're in the pits. And he's staying out. So out of nowhere, Lando Norris is up into 2nd place. That is absolutely huge for his race. He goes into turn 1. Leclerc and Piastri emerging from the pits with fresh tires, but at a crucial loss of track position. And now, it just all depends whether or not McLaren will pit Norris going into the final lap, which is not likely given the gain he's made by this move. Norris doesn't have the pace that these two do on fresh tires. The track position was a good call, but Leclerc and Piastri send it up the inside at turn 14, and they will both simultaneously pass Norris, putting themselves both on the podium going into this final lap. But I'm sure this isn't over. With turn 1 still ahead, Leclerc will have a good tow from the McLaren. Norris staying out and trying to stay close, but it's between 2 and 3. Leclerc moving over to the inside, trying to extract the most out of this race. Into turn 1, Charles Leclerc is back up into P2 on the final lap. Just a handful of corners remaining. Hulkenberg running in 9th, Bortoleto running in 10th, but that's about to be 11th at the hairpin. But it doesn't matter, they've both run out of tires, and what could have been a double points finish in their final home race is about to turn into another scoreless result for the Swiss team. Alonso as well, falling back, he'd be lucky to score having started on the 2nd row. He will come out now, and he will have to beat Tsunoda into turn 1, and does. 10th for Alonso now, but Sauber is just out of luck. And Russell will round the hairpin for the final time as Oscar Piastri down the inside of Charles Leclerc at the hairpin. Leclerc's been caught napping, and that could very well seal it. That does it. It's been since round 3 at Suzuka for George Russell. He's been very close in countless other races this season. George Russell will win the Swiss Grand Prix ahead of Oscar Piastri, who just beats out Charles Leclerc to the line. Lando Norris comes home to take 4th. Still important points for him. And Lewis Hamilton will be next to round out our top 5. Hamilton comes from 12th to finish 5th, but it's George Russell out front to take a 2nd win on the season. So, George Russell returns to the top step. It hasn't been the season he'd hoped for, but he'll be ecstatic to take this win here, ahead of Oscar Piastri, who took 2nd near the line from pole sitter Charles Leclerc, eerily similar to Leclerc doing the same on Oscar at Autopolis, so revenge for the McLaren. It won't be what Lando Norris would have wanted, but P4 is very good points for him today, ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who came from P12 on the grid, and then Max Verstappen started 8th, ended up 6th. Pierre Gasly from nowhere, P18th on the grid, came up to 7th, just stayed out of drama. Alex Albon in 8th, and double points for Aston Martin with Stroll leading the 2. So close to double points for Sauber today, but they end up with nothing. Bortoleto, a 3rd top 10 start in 4 races, and he still remains scoreless on the season. Kimi Antonelli, a point for fastest lap, and he's just broken the lap record by 3.4 seconds. Blisteringly quick today. For the second time this season, it only takes one race for Lando Norris to snatch his title lead back from Max Verstappen, who is now sat 3 points behind, and both ahead of Piastri, who sits a race victory's worth of points away from tying first in the standings, 25 points. George Russell jumps Lewis Hamilton for fourth, and Albon and Gasly jumping Tsunoda. McLaren's still running away with the constructors, but Ferrari is beginning to create some separation between themselves and Mercedes. Alpine is 8 points off Aston Martin, all off the back of Pierre Gasly's 30 points this season. Absolutely remarkable. So that'll do it from Switzerland, and that was a great race to send us into the break. We will return when it's time for Germany, but until then, make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching Project SF1.